complaining cow is with me. I'd love to know how you got that name.
Well, it was when I started my blog about 12, 13 years ago, and I just put on Facebook, what's a good name for it? And a couple of friends came up with a couple of names, put it out to vote, and it was the Complaining Cow, so I didn't come up with it.
Helen Juni as well is her other name, of course. We're talking about dynamic pricing today. Potentially looking at it again, given what happened with Oasis in the summer. What are your thoughts?
Well, hopefully, if this bill goes forward, it should help consumers because the bill's proposing for them to be a maximum price. So when you're in that queue for, for hours waiting, and then you suddenly see the price has gone up a few £100, that should stop. So although they're not proposing to actually stop dynamic pricing, they're trying to improve the transparency. So it might say, this is the maximum price that you will pay. So you might start at £100, but it will never go more than, 300 or whatever. So it's probably going to be a percentage.
Why is it fair? I mean, if it's a ticket price, it's a ticket price,
yes,
surely.
And I think generally people feel that, but on some occasions it helps. You think of when you look at holidays and flights, sometimes you can get them sort of cheaper because they're not popular. So it's sort of like...
You still have the price on the ticket, don't you?
Yes, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens because it will be debated, but it does seem to have support from across all parties.
But so you don't think there will actually be an end to dynamic pricing?
No, they're not proposing that at this stage. They're not proposing that at all.
Do you think that people who paid significantly over the odds for Oasis tickets are in a position where they potentially could get some of their money back?
Well, at the moment, the Competition Markets Authority are investigating to see if any consumer law has been broken. So the Consumer Protection from Unfair Trading Regulation, so you shouldn't mislead. So they are investigating. They had a consultation between the 6th and 19th of September, so that's just closed recently. So they are looking. Now, if they see that there have been breaches, then it could well be that people will get their money back. But it's a wait and see, I think, at the moment.
Because the promoters, of course, at Oasis and the owners of Ticketmaster are one and the same.
Absolutely. They blame each other, but when you look at it, it's quite a twisted ownership of all the different organisations, yeah.
How long has dynamic pricing been around for? And who tends to use it?
Well, I think we see it a lot in holidays. You see that a lot in travel. We see that those flights, and you see it with hotels, because we saw it not only with the Oasis tickets, we saw the hotels also putting their prices right up when those dates were announced. So it's been around for quite a while.
School holidays too, of course.
Absolutely.
Okay. What can we do to protect ourselves against it?
I'm not sure that we can, and that's why we saw the problems that we have. And I think it's when it comes to dynamic pricing on holidays and things, it's to go for those unpopular dates. But if you're a family and you want to go in the school holidays, you're not going to get around it. But...
No. And what about top tips for if you are hoping for the hanging on the line, quite literally, as Debbie Harry would say, in order to get those tickets? Have you got any tips on how you can potentially buffer yourself against those astronomical prices?
I think it's very difficult because you don't know what's coming. Like the Oasis fans didn't know what was coming, but I think at the moment, before there are any changes, is to have a figure in mind. So people felt under pressure. So when they had been in the queue for £100 ticket, say, and then they got to 500, they thought, I've been waiting for 5 hours. That's I'm going to have to pay that. So at the moment, I think it's just a case of making sure that you've got a figure in your head that you will not pay more than. And so that it's easier when it comes to that, you see that higher price, that is the price I said I would not pay, and then don't do it, keeping it in your mindset.
OK, it's good to see you. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Thank you.